Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're going to talk about a national park that has a pretty surprising day job. I mean, it goes way beyond just, protecting animals. This place is actually a critical piece of national infrastructure. Pretty cool, right?
So, what if a park could stop a flood? It sounds like something out of a comic book, doesn't it? A superpower for a park. But this is totally real. It's the actual mission of this one-of-a-kind protected area in Sri Lanka. And that park is the Floodplains National Park. Yeah, the name kind of gives it away, doesn't it? It reveals its secret identity and its absolutely vital, life-saving job.
All right, so first up, a Sri Lankan hidden gem. So you'll find this park in the Polonnaruwa District of Sri Lanka, and this area is just steeped in the country's ancient history, especially its agricultural history. So we're not talking about some random patch of land here. It's part of this ancient landscape that has, for centuries, been all about water management.
Okay, let's get into the main event. Section 2, Nature's Mighty Floodgate. Right, so here's the absolute core of its mission. This park's job is to manage the mighty Mahaweli River. That's the longest river in the entire country. You can think of its wetlands and plains as a giant natural sponge. When the monsoon season hits, it just soaks it all up. And when I say giant, I mean massive. We're talking about over 17,000 hectares. I mean, that's bigger than a lot of cities. And it's that incredible scale that lets it absorb these massive amounts of water, which stops floods further downstream and, as a bonus, recharges the groundwater. Super important. So that's basically what a floodplain does, It's nature's built-in overflow system. When the river gets too full, the water just spreads out across this low land. It slows everything down, loses its destructive power. So the park's whole job is to protect that completely natural, essential process. And you know what's wild? This isn't some new idea. For centuries, these exact same plains were used for these huge, ancient irrigation systems. Then, fast forward to 1984, and that role was made official. It was declared a protected park as part of a massive development project. So yeah, people have known how important this land is for a very, very long time. Okay, so Section 3, a haven for wildlife. Because it turns out, when you have a landscape that's perfectly designed to manage water, well, you also create the perfect home for an incredible ecosystem to thrive. This unique habitat, it's home to some of Sri Lanka's most iconic animals. You've got this amazing mix of wetlands and grasslands, and it's the perfect sanctuary for huge herds of elephants, those super elusive leopards, sambar deer, and of course, water buffalo just hanging out in the water. And for any bird watchers out there, this park is an absolute paradise. You've got your year-round residents, birds like herons and kingfishers. But then, from about November to March, the place just transforms. It becomes this critical pit stop for huge flocks of migratory birds. It's like an international airport for birds. It's amazing. All right, so maybe you're thinking, I want to see this place. Section 4, Exploring the Plains. So if you are planning a trip, here's a pro tip. Aim for the dry season. That's usually between May and September. Why? Well, for one, the plains are way easier to get around. But also, the animals all tend to gather around the water that's left, which means you get some pretty spectacular wildlife viewing. So once you're there, you've got a few really cool ways to experience the park. The classic choice is a jeep safari. That's your best bet for seeing the big animals. Birdwatching is, well, it's a must. But if you want a different vibe, you can take a guided nature walk right into the wetlands. Or, and this is really cool, you can go canoeing right on the Mahaweli River itself to get a totally unique perspective. And finally, let's talk about the future. Section 5, Protecting this vital park. Protecting a park like this is a constant tug of war. On one side, you've got threats like illegal fishing and habitat destruction, but on the other, you have conservation efforts like anti-poaching patrols and big habitat restoration projects. And then there's the ongoing challenge of human-wildlife conflict right at the park's borders, which they're tackling with community engagement. It's a real, active, ongoing balancing act every single day. When you really think about it, the Floodplains National Park just proves that a landscape can be two things at once. It can be critical infrastructure and a hotspot for biodiversity.
It really makes you rethink what a park even is. So I'll just leave you with this thought. If a floodplain can be a national park, what other working landscapes out there do you think we should be protecting?